Good morning, everyone. Welcome back for another Q&A. Starting off with, hashtag totally not Team Rocket asks, which character do you feel you can relate to the most? Mine is Linhart, because I am either sleeping, working, or doing what I am passionate about, historical research. Honestly, it's probably Dimitri. Nice and polite on the surface, but dealing with stuff down below. That's probably the character that I would bond with the most, I think. Yeah, I don't know. It'll take some more time for me to figure out if I bond with anybody else deeper. I've only gotten up to C support ranks within the game so far, so not quite that far, not advanced. Fleeger asks, who do you think will be your favorite S support in Fire Emblem Three Houses? This one's tricky too, because like I was saying, I've only gotten up to C support so far. At this point, I would say Mercedes is probably one of them that's up there, but if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, I have seen a lot of the character time skip designs, and there's some of them that are not my favorite, and it kind of has changed around characters who I think I'm going to end up probably S supporting myself and picking. I don't know support chain wise who it's going to be exactly, if I'm going to attach or bond with anybody else, but probably somebody like Petra, Mercedes, who's another character I really like. I do like Edelgard. And Dorothy is actually somebody who's grown on me a lot since playing the game. I've gotten her C support. I started up a second file since I'm here and not home and not able to film. So I couldn't help myself. I started a Black Eagles file. And even though I do like my Blue Lions file better, I did get a C support with Dorothea. So that was a cool support. It's pretty funny. Anubis asks, what do you like/dislike about Three Houses now that the game is out? I'm definitely super impressed with Three Houses. I really love it so far. I've played a good I've played like 14 hours, but that's split across like 2 save files, pretty much playing the same amount of content on each. So it's about 7 hours in on each of them, I would say. I'm right around chapter 3. And I really have to say, I'm super impressed with the game. I really love it so far. There are some things that I think could be better. Sometimes I wish the voice flapping connecting with the English dialogue was a little bit better. Sometimes it has moments where it's really good, other moments where it's not so good. And I do have to say, I think the graphics are kind of one of the weaker areas of the game. It's not ugly looking or anything, but I just think a little bit more polish would have went a long way. Some of the areas around the monastery look a little empty, and that's kind of like the Koei Tecmo style. Very big open maps, because there needs to be, like usually in Warriors games, thousands of dudes for you to be able to slaughter, basically. So very wide, big open areas, and I think that translated to Garreg Mach, and it could just use a little extra something here and there. Some corners look pretty empty and decrepit. In handheld mode, the graphics do take a little bit of a downturn, I would say. You get some, weird black pixely edges on stuff. It's a little strange that models in the background do not have the outline, and you can kind of like play with it so that if you walk like close and far, it'll click on and off. Little things like that. I think that's probably it so far for me. And like when it comes to the battle system, actually playing on maps and stuff, it just feels a little less smooth. I feel like they really thought about the quickness of the animations and the battles in this one. It really seems like they wanted to speed it up and turn it up a notch. And I do appreciate that. It's nice and zippy, but the thing is, with that, you lose a little bit of smoothness, and so there can be kind of some like janky transitions and stuff on maps and stuff when you're doing battles. I like that your character kind of runs into the enemy and then runs back after battle, but sometimes it's just so quick and so fast, you got kind of like things almost, not glitching back and forth, but it's just a little maybe too zippy. They lost some smoothness there. But overall, very, very impressed so far. Really like the game. Cannot wait to see what happens later. But, those are just some minor visual gripes that I have so far. Byleth needs your help to save Fodlan. All he needs is for you to give me your credit card, social security number, the 3 epic numbers in the back, expiration date, and your mother's maiden name. Can you help Byleth save Fodlan and become an epic gamer? Golden Deer, Claude's future husband, asks, did you like school growing up? There are definitely moments in time where I really enjoyed school. It kind of depends upon your class, your teachers, kind of what you're learning in that moment. I will say stuff like high school, not really. That's probably, it still had its moments, but it's probably the worst time in school for me. I didn't really move around so much. Like we didn't travel very far from the original location, but I did go to several different school districts. You know, I went to a different kindergarten, a different middle school, and a different high school. And I actually ended up going to high school with kids that I had only been in kindergarten with. So you can imagine that by the time I got to high school, everybody kind of already had their cliques and everything sort of established. It was pretty difficult to break into. I ended up eating lunch with like, I guess you'd say like the jocks and those kind of kids most days. And I got along well with them, but we were just kind of like acquaintances. We didn't really do too much outside of school. So it was pretty unfortunate. There wasn't really like a Fire Emblem group of friends or anything like that that I had at school. There were definitely like gamer kids, but it was kind of a smaller town, kind of a more of a hick town, so it wasn't really, I didn't really find people that I meshed with like 100% there, which was unfortunate. So yeah, there are definitely some rough times in school. I will say college was definitely much better for me in terms of being able to find people with similar interests. I kind of had one main group of friends from middle school that I grew up with and did a lot of stuff with that I was really fortunate to have. And then I didn't really make that many more friends that I would put in that best friend category until maybe early college, probably. And even then it was only, you know, potentially a couple more. So yeah, there are tough times in school. There are moments that you're probably not gonna love it, but I guess it's all part of the growth process, and hopefully at some point you'll get to a better moment and you'll be able to look back and be proud of what you've accomplished. So just make it through. Just make it through. Computer Cato and Cody both asking about the straight thing. Is Stevie gonna be straight gonna be the next meme? Because I found it pretty funny. Yeah, so that was with the Byleth S supports, the male S supports video, and
I am 100% straight.
I really made it clear that I was straight in that video because I didn't want to end up saying something really stupid and then have people kind of come at me. I wanted to like explain, hey, this is the perspective from a straight guy, and here are my thoughts on this topic. But ultimately, it was just kind of just really bothering me. I don't want to delve into spoilers. If you want to see that video, you can check it out up here. But some of Byleth's male support options in Fire Emblem Three Houses I think are kind of disappointing. And even as a straight guy, there was something that I kind of saw the potential for and was really hoping that they would do, and they didn't do it. And I think it's a little unfortunate. And some of the S support options for Byleth, the male options, are just kind of weird. I don't know why they decided to do that. A lot of folks have pointed out that in Japan, you know, it's not quite as accepted as it is here in the West. So that's probably why, but at the same time, they just made some really weird options for them. So yeah, I just wanted to make it very clear that my perspective was the perspective of a straight guy, and you know, that way if I said anything stupid, people would probably understand a bit better. That was my thought process behind that one. But yeah, I figured it'd be funny too. Plast asks, are you the type to rage at games? If so, what causes you to rage, and what's the earliest memory you have of doing so? Definitely not often, I will say that. I don't remember the earliest memory of me raging. I probably like threw a controller or something. I think that's usually people's typical reactions to that. I'll say my most recent one, how about that? Because that I remember very clearly. I rage a lot when it comes to Fire Emblem Heroes Arena, because we're getting to a point in the game where plus 10 units that you built a long time ago for arena score, are not that good anymore. I've got characters like a plus 10 Effie, who's basically, in most cases, like a wheelchair on my team. She can't move anywhere, she can't do anything. Yeah, she can tank, you know, if I put her in the proper situation, she can tank, and she does that pretty well. But in today's metagame, everything in the arena is either an armor with like an armor slayer, or a dragon unit. Basically, she just stands no chance. I've also got plus 10 Tharja, plus 10 Camilla. That tends to be my main core in arena, maybe plus 10 Selena. And I've just been having a lot of trouble in the past while. And you know, some days you play Fire Emblem Heroes Arena, you'll instantly be able to knock out that season. You'll do, you know, the 5 battles, you'll do it well, you'll get your score, and you're done for the week. And then some days you just struggle and struggle and struggle. You'll be like 2-3 battles in, you'll be doing pretty good. All of a sudden you just get stomped by this team, you make a mistake and things go bad, and it just, that makes me rage every week. The worst part is that I wait till Monday usually to actually do it. So here I am like Monday at 3 p.m. I've got like 3 or 4 hours before the season ends, and I'm trying to knock out, you know, Arena Assault, Arena, Ether Raids, Allegiance Battles. It's just too much stuff every single week. And I still really do like the game, but man, I rage really hard at that stuff sometimes. Some Mondays is just not a good day for that stuff. I should honestly do it like on a Tuesday or a Wednesday and get it done, so then I have the rest of the week to worry about it if I need to, and then I don't have to worry about it come next week. But after doing it Monday, I'm in this kind of bad cycle where Tuesday I don't want to touch the stuff. I just don't want to go back to it. Yeah, I gotta fix that. I need another solid plus 10 that can help me deal with stuff. Maybe like a red sword falchion user, something like that. I gotta figure it out. It's just been super bad. So that's my rage moment. 1010-2025, also known as Kristen10, asks, when it comes to blessing your heroes and Fae, how do you decide? Do you try to go with a character's canon affinity? Do you build a team around a specific legendary and then bless their teammates accordingly? I'm curious to your thoughts. This is something that it's changed a lot too within the past while, especially because of Ether Raids. I definitely do it via Ether Raids now. Ether Raids is my first priority for blessings. You definitely want somebody for light blessing that works really well with air. Recently, a character that I just did was actually Kagero, and she's been doing really, really well in Ether Raids. A lot of people thought that she got a really bad refine, but there's actually like 2 potentially really good new builds that you can make with her. Whether you want to go with the effect build of her new weapon or just go pure attack. I think my Kagero at base as a plus 10 has like 66 attack and 44 something speed. It's pretty obnoxious. I really like it though, actually. Yeah, it's definitely Ether Raids first. Astra's really tough because Naga is really hard to work with in Ether Raids. She's not as good as Air. She doesn't provide that level of support that Air provides. And she gives a defense bonus instead of Air's res bonus, so really tough to plan accordingly and plan around. I have noticed though, in terms of the other blessings with Arena Assault, I definitely need to bless more characters than I have right now. It is kind of a problem. I would say you absolutely want some kind of armor killer and dragon killer on every blessing combination. Wind, water, earth, fire, all that kind of stuff. Whatever you can muster, you're gonna need it. No matter what the season is, you're gonna want that stuff because Arena, especially high tier Arena, is just overrun with dragons and armors. Yeah, so aside from that, you do want to make sure to take into account what legendary heroes you have and kind of plan some of the blessings at least around that. I'll give you a weird one, for example. My Tharja has a fire blessing. The only fire legendary hero I have is legendary Ephraim. He gives plus defense, I think. Tharja doesn't really need that. She does actually have some pretty tanky defense, so in one case it does kind of help her. But aside from that, it's not usually what you would want to give her as her blessing. So that's kind of a weird one that just ended up that way because actually initially I did want the red kind of aura, which did her special, because I felt that the red worked really well with her. So originally there were some things that I did that were more visually oriented based on the specials and the animations and stuff. But at this point, I really did just need a red mage on my fire season team. So yeah, there's a number of factors. That could honestly be its whole entire own video. I thought about making it at one point or another. We'll see if I end up getting there. But yeah, so you definitely want to think if you do Ether Raids or not. That's a big consideration to make. And if you do, you want to put characters that are really good with air, of course. I've got like Kanagus on Astra. Honestly, it's been pretty tough with him. He is a great tank in the right scenarios, but you really have to set him up well or he's just gonna die. So that's hard to... Who else do I have light blessed? Fjorm. On certain light seasons where they have the water season at the same time, Fjorm is amazing at tanking. Man, I've had some of the most fun Ether Raid seasons before just tanking with Fjorm, but she's not light blessed. I can't bless her. Yeah, I'll pop in a quick screenshot of some of my blessed units so you guys can take a look. I need to bless more, I need to figure out more, but as a whole system, it's unfortunate because it's really unrewarding and really scary. You don't want to put the wrong blessing on somebody and waste it. In my personal opinion, I think they should do away with the whole current blessing system. I think you should be able to bless whoever you want in whatever affinity and change it whenever you want. Maybe even if they had to restrict it to like once a week or whatever it is, I think that would be much better and people would be a lot scared to bless their units because at the current moment, you don't want to waste them by accident, so it's a really hard and tough decision when it comes to picking who to bless, and you don't want to make a mistake of it and have to undo it or waste another blessing later to fix it. So that's hard, yeah. Magnical Mystique asks, Of thine many proverbs, of which thou would most desirous to impart upon us, O wise and sage of Castle Crit, which words most sweet or bitter did thou find comfort and resonance within thyself throughout the many travails of life? What's some of the best advice / tips you ever heard that helped you? Two things. The first one, as generic and cliche as it is, be yourself. Because at the end of the day, if you're not going to be yourself, you're going to be kind of fake. You're not going to be true to yourself, so I think ultimately you're not going to end up very happy later. And also, people react better with you, and they'll bond better with you, with your real self. You'll find real people that actually really like you a lot better, instead of whatever persona you're trying to put on. It is very generic, stupid advice, but especially with women, or whoever you're trying to date or whatever, you'd have to be yourself, because if you're not, they're either A, gonna pick up on it, or B, they'll like you for somebody else. They won't like you for the real you, and it's not gonna do you any favors later. The second one is fake it till you make it. Really. That advice has helped me so much. So, kind of coming off of that first piece of advice, if you do want to change something about yourself, become someone else, work towards something different, whether it's, you're going to college, you want to be a little different, whatever it is, you can fake it till you make it, but slowly over time. You need to adapt and adjust yourself to whatever potential new situations that you find yourself in. Let's say you're an introvert and you want to be more extroverted, you want to get out more, go meet people, go to parties or something like that. You're not going to be able to go from introvert to super extrovert in one party, you know what I mean? And if you go to that party and act that way, it's going to be weird. You're going to create a weird situation. But if you do want to end up as a more extroverted person, you can actually really change yourself and adapt yourself to like those situations. It's just going to take some time. So if you can fake it till you make it a little bit in the beginning, if you can kind of put out that persona that you want to be, over time you might be able to ultimately adjust yourself a little bit. You don't want to lie to yourself deep down inside. That's not right. But if you do want to put yourself into different scenarios and different situations, you will grow and you will adapt to those scenarios. And I think ultimately that's really going to help you. It definitely helped me because I was more introverted. I think I'm the kind of, I think whenever I take a Myers-Briggs, I end up being like INFP or something along those lines, which basically means that I am introverted, but I really want to be extroverted. So there's a lot of social scenarios and stuff that I want to be a part of. Otherwise, I kind of feel that nagging inside of me that says that I should be a part of them, and I kind of torture myself anyway. But I am the kind of person that does need to take a break, relax, unwind after some of those scenarios. So I think ultimately I am introverted and not extroverted, so not ENFP. But yeah, so be yourself and fake it till you make it if you do want to adapt and change your core persona within you. Be mindful about what you're doing. Adapt slowly over time. Put yourself in situations that you want to be in. If you want to be better around people, do what you can to put yourself around people. Try to be the best version of yourself that you can be, even if it is kind of a facade at first. But just don't lie to yourself. Deep down, follow that voice. Ghost Agron asks, what kind of music do you like or listen to usually? I am a huge Blink-182 Angels and Airwaves fan. Always have been. Ever since a friend of mine showed me some songs on a CD way back in the day. Ever since, what was it called? Now That's What I Call Music, Volume 4. I used to rock that in the car with my parents. They had all the small things on that CD. Oh my God, that was an amazing CD. I loved it. I will say I'm not a huge fan of what Blink-182 has been doing in the past while. Pretty much ever since Tom left, I've been kind of heartbroken, hoping that someday he'll come back. I don't hate the new guy. What's his name? There's actually a really weird connection between Thomas Matthew DeLonge and Matthew Thomas. What's his name? Hold on, it's gonna bother me. I gotta look it up. I'm forgetting the last name. So much for a Blink fan. Skiba. Matt Skiba. There's a really weird connection between Thomas Matthew DeLonge and Matthew Thomas Skiba. Ultimately, I don't hate Skiba. There's definitely some of the new tracks that they put out that I think are kind of cringy, unfortunately. There were a couple off of California that I did appreciate, though. But ultimately, there's just kind of they haven't aged well in terms of making new music. I don't know, it just sounds kind of like your 40 or 50-year-old dad making a pop punk kind of a song, and I'm not a huge fan of that, unfortunately. And now they're trying to do stuff with like Lil Wayne. They're doing some collab with like Lil Uzi Vert, and so I don't know. It's really getting weird, and I don't understand what they're trying to go for and what they're trying to do, and it's just not the Blink that I love. I love Enema of the State, Untitled, Take Off Your Pants and Jacket Blink. I even like Neighborhoods Blink, to be honest with you, and even like Dogs Eating Dogs EP Blink. Pretty much anything Tom touches, I'm game for. I've loved a lot of the stuff that he's done in the past. Like I said, Angels and Airwaves. Blink-182 is what I would listen to when I want to be a little bit more edgy and kind of mellow. Angels and Airwaves is more the uplifting, good vibe kind of music that I'll listen to if I want to like psych myself up. So yeah, that's for the most part what I like. I do like a wide variety of stuff. I do actually like some rap and some hip hop, but ultimately those are my favorites. I also really like bands like All American Rejects, Motion City Soundtrack. I'm very kind of like punky / alternative rock. That's kind of where I'm at in terms of music. Valerio OS, will you make an apology video for using a bad word in Chaz's video? We the people demand a 10 to 45 minute apology video with ads running every second, starting off with a long sigh, you wearing a hoodie, and crying. If not, we will start a revolution for you using a naughty word. No. You might have seen my collaboration with Chaz Aria, especially leading up to Fire Emblem 3 Houses. There was a pretty funny bit in there that he wanted me to do.
Don't choose the wrong house, Choopy. You should just delete your channel, Choopy.
I said a questionable word. I said a bad word in that video. I usually try not to. With this channel, I try to stay PG-13 as much as possible. And some Discord members kind of latched onto that. Here's what I have to say to you if you don't like that. Well, first off, I'm calling your parents, and they're gonna know about you trying to attack me. I'm just kidding. But here's my advice to you. Kiss it. Tanuki GS. How should I avoid Fire Emblem 3 Houses spoilers? As a big Fire Emblem fan and lacking a Switch, I don't know how exactly I'm going to avoid as many spoilers as possible. I love the content that FE tubers I follow make, you included of course, and I don't just want to flat out unsubscribe on YouTube. Especially since a lot of spoilers can be communicated simply by the thumbnail. What should I do, Stevie? Yeah, if you don't have a Switch and you don't want to be spoiled for 3 Houses, you're in a tough spot. I feel bad for you. There's definitely some channels you absolutely want to avoid at all costs. There's a smaller channel called Collector Togami that is straight up just putting up cutscenes on YouTube, and they're not doing the scummiest job of spoiling people with the thumbnails and titles and stuff, but I gotta admit they are showing like random keyframes from certain in-game cutscenes as the thumbnail, and in a lot of cases they're not the ones that we've already seen in some of the promotional materials released, in the trailers, in the Japanese trailers, any of that. So you are, in essence, if you see those videos in your recommended, you're getting spoiled because you're seeing parts of those cutscenes you didn't know existed before. So I really don't like that. I'm kind of upset at that channel. Someone always uploads the cutscenes and stuff to YouTube because it's sure to get a lot of views. It's kind of a scummy way to just get a bunch of views off of other people's work. I don't appreciate that personally, but someone's gonna do it, and when they do it, unless they create their own thumbnail for it, which a lot of them won't do, it's not gonna be good because you'll see those keyframes. Yeah, you're in a rough spot, to be honest with you. I'm never gonna put flat out spoilers in my titles or thumbnails as best as possible. I do want to explain what the video is going to be about, but I'll try to do that without ruining things for people. So I don't think you have to worry so much about me, but yeah, it's really tough. I have 2 separate YouTube accounts. One of them is for Lucky Crit Fire Emblem stuff, pretty much, and one of them is my normal personal account. You might have to end up doing something like that. I'm really not sure what else to say, because depending upon when you get a Switch, if that's gonna be months from now or whatever, you can wait out the storm, but over the next month, the next couple of weeks, bare minimum, there will be Fire Emblem 3 Houses stuff everywhere. So be mindful of who you're subscribed to. Hopefully you won't have to unsubscribe to anybody, and if you do, then hopefully at some point you can come back. But yeah, stay away from the internet, stay away from Reddit and Twitter as much as possible. You'll find the most blatant spoilers there every now and again. Thankfully, I've remained pretty unspoiled myself, fortunately. There are some little things here and there that I know, nothing major like plot-wise, thankfully. But yeah, it's gonna be hard right now. Social media makes it very hard to not be up to date on whatever show or game you're supposed to be playing and you haven't yet. So I'm with you. Brave asks, how did you go about choosing your house? I am in a constant struggle because all of the houses look appealing. I am currently leaning towards Golden Deer. Picking a house can be pretty tough. What I recommend for you to do is tally out each student that you really like in each house and find the house that has the most that you like. You can always recruit students from other houses as long as it's not, you know, Hubert and Dedu. And I think Hilda on Black Eagles you can't recruit either, so keep that in mind. Pick the one with the most students you like first, I would say. You can always pick the Lord that you like better later and recruit more students from the other houses with that Lord. So you can kind of mix and match it to whatever you want later. That's a plane. It's a Geico ad. That's I'm gonna give that a minute to pass, huh? All right, that's better. So definitely start out with the house with the most students you like. I think you're gonna find the better connections there and have a better time playing through the first time. Maybe there will be other students that you attach yourself to or want to get to know by the end of that playthrough. So that's where I would start off for sure. It does kind of seem like each house has their own potential plot sort of theme alongside it. I don't want to spoil that for you, but you'll definitely figure that out, and maybe there will be one later on that you're more attached to as well. But yeah, I would start there. The good thing is that in-game they do provide character previews for every single unit, and so maybe if you go through talking to each of the lords, go through all the options, you'll be good on which one you end up picking. Hopefully some people will make you lean one way or another. Ravenfire17 asks, so how have you been liking 3 houses? Is it what you were looking for or not? I myself am loving the game and it is everything I wanted. Also, is there a character that has grown on you to like more than you thought you would? Casper has surprised me in the best way. He is a great character. I'll start off with the opposite of that. There's definitely a character that I have grown to hate already, unfortunately. I know a lot of people like this character, so let me preface it by saying that. If you like the character, that's totally cool, but this character for me has just been totally grating up to this point. I'm really hoping that her supports get better later because she's very one-note and very tropey so far, and that's Bernadetta. Bernadetta's just like I've gotten a bunch of C supports with her so far, and every single one is literally, oh my god, they're talking to me, oh my god, you're excited, can't breathe, and she just kind of freaks out, and it's like, I'm annoyed with it, to be honest with you. I like her time skip design later, and I know she has a traumatic backstory, which I won't spoil for you. So it makes sense, but I'm really hoping that her supports later will grow and develop and get better, because at the very least here in the beginning, it's just very annoying. I can't stand the character. I know a lot of people connect with that character and bond with her. That's totally cool, just not the character for me. Somebody that's grown on me, let me think. Probably Dedu, I think, so far. I really like Dedu. He's really begun kicking butt. Because I started the second Black Eagles playthrough, Casper was kind of the stand-in for Dedu for me on that team, being like axes and brawling, basically. And when I first gave gauntlets to Dedu, he instantly became a monster. When I first gave gauntlets to Casper, not so much. He was better with the axe still. He did get better over a little bit of time, so I can't complain really so much, but Dedu's a monster. I think there was something in the leaks that talked a little bit about his backstory, and I think it's real. Once again, not going to spoil it, but if it's real as a part of his backstory, I like the character even more, and I like what they're doing with him. Oh my god, what a cool character. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to find out, for sure. And how am I liking the game so far? Really love it. I really love it so far. Definitely not a 10 out of 10 perfect game. I was talking about some of the graphical issues earlier in this video. But overall, I really like it. Just a couple little tweaks here and there. It might even be people's game of the year. It might even be my game of the year. I just have to check out the story a little bit further. As a mechanic, I don't really love battalions, if I'm being honest. It does seem a little half-baked, I think. I miss the concept of having different formations, and maybe the formations potentially being the weapon triangle in 3 houses. I think that's kind of what we thought originally was going to happen, and I'm a little sad that that didn't really happen. But we'll see if it grows on me. I gotta give it more time. And I'm definitely super stoked to find out about the story. I can't wait to reach the time skip, get all the time skip character designs, the upgraded classes. Yeah, it's great. I love it. And for the final question of today, 10/10/2025, Kristen10 asks, Of the 4 Choose Your Legends units for this year, which one is your favorite based upon their art? So if you missed it, we did actually get a new Fade channel the other night, which did reveal the new Choose Your Legends 3 characters. Basically Brave Alm, Brave Ellawood, Brave Micaiah, and Brave Camilla. And I will say, you know, not to like crap on it, I really love Hidari's artwork from Echoes, but they must not give them enough time with Heroes, or they don't pay them enough, because the art in Heroes has been like not as great as the Echoes art. Alm's face is a little weird for me. That one's kind of been bugging me. Something about like his ears, he looks like he's like missing sideburns, or like his mouth bothers me a little bit. I don't know what it is, I just don't love it. I didn't really love Brave Celica's art or anything either. Yeah, I don't know. So it's not Alm, unfortunately. Some people are mad that he doesn't really look like another character that he's supposed to look like. They did give him the Dong armor. I gotta give props for the Dong armor coming back. But all they pretty much did was give him the kind of like cloth neck thing, the cape. So yeah, whatever about that one. Ellawood looks good, but it's not my favorite. Micaiah looks amazing, but I'm gonna have to go with Camilla. I was hoping that Camilla's design would be a little bit more elegant and regal and great looking. It's Yusuke Kozaki, so I really can't complain about that. His art is a little, I gotta say, I love Yusuke Kozaki's art, but his art is a little plain to me at this point. He's just done so many characters that he's the kind of like, almost like standard artist, if that makes sense, in my mind, for a lot of characters. So I was hoping for something a little bit more. Whoever did Camilla's original artwork in Heroes I really like. I think I'm probably going to be picking Camilla as the free unit from Choose Your Legends 3. I really do like the design. I like the fact that she's like Queen of Nor Camilla. I was really waiting to see how that was going to look. And ultimately I'm pretty satisfied with it. I think she looks good. I know people are mad about there being another Camilla alt. I totally understand that. I think there's way too many for only 2.5 years into the game. I'm totally with you, don't get me wrong. I really wish that Hot Springs Camilla actually was like pretty looking, because if I'm gonna be real here, I usually really like Lax artwork. That one looks like what happened here. IDC SAO made a video where he fixed that artwork, as kind of perhaps disrespectful as it is to fix someone else's artwork. There were a couple areas I think just needed a little tweak here and there personally as an artist myself, and IDC SAO did a really great job of doing that. And the artwork looks much better in my personal opinion after the tweaks that he did to it. I really wish that was the artwork in game, because I would really love Hot Springs Camilla if it looked more like that, honestly. She just looks a little frail, a little anorexic or something in that artwork. I don't know what happened with that one. Yeah. But ultimately, if this was the last Camilla that we ever got, I'd be kind of cool with that. I would understand. And I'm glad that it's Queen of Nor Camilla, because I like it a lot. Yeah. But I do wish that somebody else, I'd have to look it up, but the original artist who did the first Camilla design in Heroes, that artist, I kind of wish that artist had done it, because I kind of like that take on Camilla a little bit better, if I'm going to be honest with you. But yeah, that's it for this Q&A. If you want to ask questions for me, you can leave them in the comment section down below, or be sure to ask them on Discord in the Ask Stevie channel. So be sure to do that, and I will catch you guys in the next one. I hope you enjoyed the hopefully relaxing environment here, and I will catch you next time. See you later.